Hi seamstress, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we shall be learning how to draft a pattern for this gorgeous vintage dress. In today's video you shall be learning how to work with your pattern like a pro. You shall learn the right direction in which to rotate your dart. You would also learn how to move from 2 darts to 1 dart. You will also learn the slash and spread method using your darts to create and add fullness. You would also learn how to manipulate your darts and also how to manipulate your fabric to create fullness. Additionally, you would learn how to contour the neckline of a dress, that is a V neckline, so as to minimize gaping around the neckline. Lastly, you would learn how to draft an A-line skirt using that manipulation. We're also going to talk about the type of fabric one can use to achieve the style to have a perfect look. Let's get started. So this is our front bodice. Indicated center front, we have that per usual. And the next thing we're going to do now is just to go ahead and trim off the bottom, which we shall be using much later to draft our A-line skirt. Now we're going to work with this. The neckline is a V neckline, and our neckline is almost at the bust area. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a straight line here to indicate the bust line. Now we're going to go above this bust line by 2 inches or 1.5 inch. I'm working with my centimeter side of the tip, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark it like this. Next thing I'll do is using my ruler at exactly the tip of the shoulder here. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a straight line that connects to this one to be our V neckline. The neckline ought to be tight. You have to control it, and to do that you'd measure your entire neckline like this. Whatever your answer is, you divide it by 2. From there you draw a straight line to the bust line like this, bust points. Then on either side you go on ahead and contour by 1/4 of an inch on either side. So at this point here, I'm going to go ahead and slash the middle line first to the bust point. Then I would slash this line here, which is our bust line, to the bust point. Then I would place this part here over this side of the contour guideline. Make sure it covers completely. Hold it down with a tip. Then go on ahead and redraw my neckline. There aren't crooked lines in pattern drafting, so I'll just go ahead and redraw my neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and place a piece of paper like this. I'm using a white paper because there's already a red ink here that is going to guide us. I'll then go on and hold it with a tip. Now using my ruler, I'll go over and redraw it. The next thing we're going to do is to rotate all that to the shoulder area. This is so we'll be able to draw our style line. To do that, we're just going to go ahead and measure the entire shoulder area. Whatever our answer is, we divide it by 2 and mark. We're using a straight line, we'll connect this mark here to our bust point. We'll slash the line now to the bust point. Be careful not to cut it off. You do know that this opening here is not part of our dart. This opening was created because we controlled this part of our neckline. That was how we got this place. So now we're going to go ahead and also slash this line. See what I did? We're going to go ahead and slash this line here to the bust point, but not completely off. This is just to allow us rotate our dart. Now it is time for us to rotate our dart. This here is our center front, and this piece here is going to be rotated towards the center front. So we just go on, bring it under like this. Make sure that that leg here is completely under this particular that leg towards the center front. The center front remains constant. It is the side that moves towards the center front. So this is what we have. We're going to hold it down with a tip. Next thing we're going to do is, by the rules of that rotation, this part here, that's to close this dart, you're meant to bring this part underneath like this. All darts have been closed and redirected to the mid shoulder here. Now the next thing we're going to do is just to go ahead and create our style line. To do that, we're just going to go ahead and measure 3 inches from our waistline. So this is our waistline here. We'll go on and measure 3 inches like this and mark. So from here now, we'll now go ahead and create a curve from our armhole area. So using our curve, you're going to create a very sharp curve for our from our armhole area like this. Now, like I have said severally, there aren't crooked lines in pattern drafting, and if you notice this side here, it is not perfect. There's a space here after closing our darts. When you check this place, it is not lying flat. Let me in fact do something like this, and you would notice that the waist here is not lying flat. So what I'm going to do now is just to go ahead and blend this part off camera and this other part, and I'll be back. So here it is. I have gone ahead and even out everything and blended all the parts that needs blending. Next thing we're going to do is just to go ahead and slash the bottom here. So here we have 1, and then here we have 2. So we're going to cut 2 out of 1 and continue working with 1. So this is number 2, CF. Also going to indicate here CF center front. So now back to this place here. We're just going to go ahead and create a slash line along our that line. So I'm just going to call this 1A, and then here we have 1B. So to add extra fullness, we're just going to go ahead and take the measurement of this part of our shoulders again. Whatever our answer is, we'll divide the shoulder by 2. Okay, we'll then take the measurements and divide by 2. And go ahead and draw another slash line. So we'll go ahead and relabel them again. So this is 1A here. I'll measure this one 1B. Then here 1C. And then here we have 1D. Go on and slash. So we have center front here, 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. Next thing we're going to do is just to place them all on a piece of paper and spread accordingly. This is our brown paper here. Remember that number 1 is center front. So this place here is meant to be flat, and hold it down with a tip. Now I'm going to spread 1B 1 inch away from 1A. For all intents and purposes, when spreading, it shouldn't exceed 1 inch, please. This is because from our pattern, you notice that the fullness around the bust area is a minimal. So you don't want to create fullness so that in the end you don't have a bulge. You mark it 1 inch, and then you bring B. Now when spreading B, ensure that this part of your shoulder here meets like this. They must kiss at all times. This is because the shoulder area is not spread, it is flat. And then while you're doing that, you then make sure that this part of B touches the mark you have created. That is the 1 inch mark. So I would use a tip and hold this down, and use another one to hold this part of our shoulder down like this. Then we go on ahead from 1B and measure another 1 inch as well. You then go ahead and bring 1C, and just like you did 1B, ensure that the shoulder area here touches 1B, while this side here is spread at 1 inch. This is it. So I'll also hold it with a tip like this and continue spreading. You then go ahead and measure 1 inch again like this, and then you bring 1D and ensure that the D touches the shoulder area. The kiss. You then go on ahead and hold it down with a tip like this. Now we have successfully spread this part of our pattern. Now if you noticed from the shoulder area here, it is slanted. For that reason, we're just going to go ahead and blend it. Like I said, there aren't crooked lines in pattern drafting. So you go on ahead and blend everything like this. Then using a tip, I would hold everything together and I'll be back. So I have gone ahead and take out the extra, the excess around the shoulder and the neck area. Next thing I'm going to do is to go on and take out the excess at this point. So now I'm holding them with a tip. I'll now go ahead and bring 1A towards 1B like this, and then 1B towards 1C, like this. It's taking shape. And then 1C towards 1D. Now we have closed the gap here. And there you have it. Now you might have a problem with your shoulder here. It might be wider than what it was at the beginning. So you go on ahead and measure it again. If it's exactly what you had as your shoulder from the onset, you leave it like that. If it's in excess, you then go on ahead, mark the excess around the armhole area. Then using your curve, redraw your armhole area again. So here we're done with the upper part and the lower part. This is one. So after you might have got your pattern on a fabric added allowance, you then go on ahead and gather this part here. Because if you notice, placed like this, it is in excess of what we initially had at the time we cut out this lower part. That's number 2. So what you do is you create gather stitch starting from anywhere here, then you go ahead and then you gather, pull everything together, make sure it fits into this lower part here, number 2. That's how you go about this part. This part here, I'm just going to go ahead and call it number 3. So it is not particularly difficult. It's easy. It's similar to what we did previously. Label this one CF, center front. So from our center front here, we're just going to go ahead and measure from this part to the tip of this dark leg here. Whatever we have, we measure it at the hem here and mark. So we'll go on ahead and draw a straight line. We'll then slash it. Here, I have gone ahead and placed my brown paper underneath them. I've placed my center front on it. It's constant. Next thing I'm going to do is to carry this 3B here. So we'll label this one 3A, and then we have 3B. So I'll place 3B over 3A. But while doing that, I'll ensure that this dart leg here of 3B is placed, that's the end of the dart leg here. This dart leg is placed directly on top of this dart leg here of 3A. And I'll place it like this. And go ahead and hold it down with a tip. The next thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and measure whatever opening I have here. Whatever my answer is, I'm going to divide it by 2, then go on ahead and apply my measurements to the side of 3B, like this. Now from the waist area here, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a straight line, not minding the hip curve that is around there. Just draw a straight line like this. So using my curve now, I'm just going to go ahead and connect to our center front. These here are our pattern pieces. I have gone ahead and blended the waist area of our skirt, and I've held everything down with a tip. Center front, center front, center front. 1, 2, 3, and this brings us to the end of our tutorial. See you in the next video. Bye.